detected. Hostile broadcast detected.
If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up, Mod Squad? Welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. If you're already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section, which in turn helps the channel grow. Interaction is a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. With that said, let's get on with the video. So in today's video, I'll showcase my heroic god mode build. This build replicates a combination I used in the previous video, which is stupidly overpowered. This build gives you everything you'll need to dominate heroic control points and the summit. High weapon and crit damage, armor regen, armor on kill, bonus armor on kill, status effects on kill, and all damage resistance. All this combined makes you near enough unkillable. Today's build is one of the most simple and basic builds to make, and offers an insane amount of damage, utility, and survivability. Just off one kill alone, you're looking at 30% armor on kill, 50% bonus armor on kill, 100% health on kill, status effect on kill, 5% rate of fire on kill, and 15% weapon damage on kill. This isn't including all the crit damage on kill you can stack, as well as max crit chance, depending on the weapon variations you use. At its base, this build has 1.7 million armor, and fully stacked is capable of reaching well over 3 million. On top of being a tank, we have all the survivability that I just mentioned, plus 3% armor regen. So not only do you have burst forms of healing on kill, but passive healing as well. What makes this build so overpowered though is the synergy between the gear talents, skills, specialization, and weapon talents. They all chain together to make an insanely strong build that just gets stronger and stronger the more you kill NPCs. This build can also be used with a multitude of weapons, but for sure the strongest weapon to use in combination with this build is the Eagle Bearer. For those of you who don't have the Eagle Bearer, the Chameleon is the next best option, and I have a video showcasing that combination above. And for those of you who are looking to find a squad to do the raid with, make sure you join my Discord. The link to that will be in the description below. Back to the Eagle Bearer's tenacity talent can nerf all damage you take from 40 to 80%. Combining this with the protection from elite stat makes elite damage feel non-existent. For those of you who are worried about the negative side of tenacity, you don't have to worry, as the amount of survivability you get from this build easily counters the damage you take from the talent. All it takes for you to near enough be unkillable is a headshot kill. A couple of other assault rifles I recommend using with this build would be one, the Chameleon, like I stated earlier. This is because it is so OP when paired with the Hunter's Fury gear set, and the second assault rifle would be the FAMAS, as it delivers whatever talent you decide to use at a very fast rate because of the 900 RPM it has. My recommendation for talents would be Preservation for more survivability. This will boost your armor repair by 10% for body shot kills and 20% for headshot kills. You'll also gain that armor within 5 seconds, and this is a talent that stacks. If you're looking for that extra damage instead, then you can use Killer for 40% critical hit damage, or In Sync, which will boost both your weapon and skill damage by 30%. Today's build is also one you don't have to use a shield with, as it has so much survivability. This will allow you to use other skills such as drones, chem launchers, traps, hives, or even a decoy. I'd recommend using one skill that serves as a distraction, like the decoy or striker drone, and the second skill being something that keeps NPCs in place, like the shock trap or the riot foam chem launcher. Using these skills will make getting headshot kills a lot easier. Now we've spoken a little bit about the build, and I've showcased some of what it's capable of. Let's get into a build breakdown. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, and we are using the gunner. Reason being is it synergizes so well with the rest of our build. This specialization offers DPS, survivability, and utility. As you can see, we get the riot foam grenade, which is great for both PVE and PvP. If you can funnel enemies and then use this grenade, you will snare a bunch of them, which makes them easier to kill. Up next, killing enemies grants 10% armor, which adds on to the 20% we already have on our build, taking us to a total of 30%. Next, every third reload is 50% faster. That's going to add to DPS. The armor kit on this build gives us 100% armor repair and then 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Every specialization has a skill with it that you can unlock, and as you can see is the Banshee Pulse. You can see in the gameplay that is very effective, stuns NPCs, making them easier to kill. This specialization also generates 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Which is great if you're a solo player, because you'll find you'll never run out of ammo. If you're not picking it up through NPCs, then this specialization will be replenishing it for you. Up next, rate of fire increased by 5% on kill. This is just going to add to our DPS, helping us kill faster. And that is pretty much it for the specialization. So with that said, let's move on to the build breakdown. Right guys, getting into the build breakdown, start off with the primary weapon, and it is the God Mode gun. The most overpowered gun in the game. It is the Eagle Bearer. Why is it overpowered? Because of tenacity. 40 to 80% damage resistance. The fact that this works so well with Hunter's Fury as well is just, it's kind of broken. It's way overpowered in my opinion. But getting to the attachments, we have 10% crit chance on the scope, we have 10% weapon handling on the grip, 15% critical hit damage on the muzzle, and the magazine gives us the extra 30 rounds, giving us a total of 60 in the magazine. Now we have 750 RPM, but that does get boosted a little bit by 5% because of the gunner specialization, so we even gain a little bit more DPS on the Eagle Bearer. Moving on to our secondary, and we are using the Grudge. Reason being, it gives us Perfect Vindictive, which gives us 18% crit chance and 18% critical hit damage for 20 seconds after killing an enemy that is under a status effect. This build puts out status effect on kill, and we also use the Banshee Pulse to apply status effects as well, so it's relatively easy to get these kills. Now, because it's easy to get these kills, we're going to use this gun quite a lot of the time because it's going to give the Eagle Bearer that crit chance boost it needs because its base crit chance is at 35%. So when you use this build, get used to killing first an enemy under a status effect and then switching to the Eagle Bearer. Looking at the attachments on this weapon, we have 5% crit chance on the sight, we have 20 extra rounds in the magazine, 5% crit chance on the laser pointer, and 5% critical hit damage on the muzzle. When it comes to the sidearm, you want to use a pistol with the talent finisher on it. You could either use the Orbit, which is the perfect version, gives you 35% crit chance and 40% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. Again, a very nice long buff. And I find that stacking Vindictive and Finisher together works pretty well. You don't miss out on too much of either talent. You still have a good solid 10 seconds of having them both together, and it is so worth it. You can gain an extra 58% critical hit damage, and you will max out on crit chance. Moving on to the gear pieces now, and we have the 4-piece Hunter's Fury, of course, gives us 15% SMG damage. That's going to help our Grudge do a little bit more damage and kill those enemies under status effect a little bit faster. 3-piece gives us 20% armor kill. We get 30% because of the gunner specialization, giving us another 10%. We have 100% health on kill, and the 4-piece just gives us untold amounts of weapon damage. So looking at the attributes, we have 14.9% weapon damage. I will optimize that real soon because it's bugging me. We have 12% critical hit damage, 12% critical hit damage via mod. Moving on to the chest piece, and we have a Seska chest piece, giving us 10% critical hit chance. We had to go with a Seska to make up for the lack of crit chance. The base on the Eagle Bearer, like I said, is 35%, so we have to have the Seska. We have 15% weapon damage, 5.5% critical hit chance, 12% critical hit damage, and 12% critical hit damage via a mod. And we are using Intimidate. If you want to, you can switch out for Obliterate, but we are stacking so much bonus armor. Why not make the most out of that 35% amplified damage? Moving on to our holster. And when it comes to our holster, knee pads and gloves, they are all the exact same stats. 170k max armor and 12% critical hit damage, as you can see. And then finally, the Memento backpack, best in slot when it comes to solo builds. When it comes to talent, of course, it's kill confirmed, the most overpowered talent in the game, in my opinion. When it comes to the skills, I recommend using the decoy or the striker drone. Again, like I said earlier in the video, it's good to have one skill that acts as a distraction to NPCs. Just makes it a lot easier for you to run a gun because you're not using a shield. When it comes to the mods on this, I have 7.5% health, and then we have 7.5% duration. Moving on to my second skill, and I love this skill. This is what's going to help us apply that status effect so we can use the Grudge SMG to proc Vindictive. We have the Banshee Pulse. Looking at attachments on here, 6.5% cone size, and then we have 15% effect duration. Now, enemies will be under the effect for 5 seconds. That is more than enough time to kill NPCs to gain the Vindictive talent. And then after you proc Vindictive, switch out to your pistol, finish off an enemy, switch back to the Eagle Bearer, boom, all that crit chance, crit damage maxed out, and you can go all in. Moving on to the stat sheet now, guys, and I'm not going to talk over it. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section. We have that 500 like goal that we never miss here on the channel, so please make sure you comment and like this video. I appreciate all of you guys' support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad. If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up mod squad, welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. Before we get into the video, if you already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section, which in turn helps the channel grow. Interaction is a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. In today's video, I'll showcase my new TU16 Heartbreaker gear set assault rifle build for PVE. This is the first gear set in the Division 2 built around assault rifles, so automatically it's going to be highly favoured by the community, and I can honestly say this gear set doesn't disappoint. In my opinion, the Heartbreaker gear set is very similar to the Striker's Battleground gear set. Both offer the same amount of weapon handling and stack and lose damage in a very similar manner. Which set does more damage though, I'm not 100% sure, as we have yet to find out whether the damage on Heartbreaker is additive or multiplicative damage like Strikers. What I believe does make the Heartbreaker a better gear set than Strikers is the 4-piece bonus, Heartstopper. This 4-piece not only allows you to stack damage, but a considerable amount of bonus armor as well, 50 to 100% in fact, which as you can see by the gameplay is insane when you combine it with something else that pretty much does the same thing as the set. That being the Memento backpack. Where the Heartbreaker backpack would offer another 50% bonus armor, the Memento offers that plus 40% damage and 3% armor regen. In this build I'm using the Heartbreaker chest piece, as it allows us to have that 100 stacks and gives us more consistent damage. To gain these stacks as fast as possible, I recommend using a shotgun, preferably a ACS-12. This stacking method is also the same as the Striker stacking method, so again another similarity. This is a pretty basic build to make and offers an insane amount of damage and survivability. Just off one kill alone you gain 50% bonus armor on kill and 10% weapon damage on kill. This isn't including all the crit damage and crit chance on kill you can stack from both Vindictive and the Finisher talent. At this build's base you have 1.7 million armor, and fully stacked with bonus armor is probably capable of reaching well over 4 million. And while your bonus armor is stacking, the 3% armor regen will replenish your base armor, so not only do you have burst survivability but passive healing as well. Both types helping in different situations. This build is not only great for run and gun, but is also insanely good at long range fights. To make the most of this build though, you'll need an aggressive playstyle to keep both damage and armor stacks active. The more you kill, the stronger you are. This build is perfect for all heroic content, whether that's control points, bounties or the summit, and it's even a great build to use for the new countdown game mode. Now we spoke a little bit about the build and I showcased on what it's capable of, let's get into a quick build breakdown. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, and we are using the Technician. Main reasons is one, it gives us the extra skill tier, so we'll have a total of 2 skill tiers on a build. This is going to help us get our Firefly back quicker. The reason we're using the Firefly over the Banshee Pulse from the Gunner specialization is for some reason the Banshee Pulse is not proccing the Vindictive talent anymore. I hit up Yannick on Twitter asking about this, but you have yet to get a reply. So for now I'm using the Technician. Once they do fix the Banshee Pulse though, go back to the Gunner specialization and use the Banshee Pulse to help you stack Vindictive and Finisher like in my previous builds. But again, for now we're using this specialization, so we get the 1 skill tier, we get the extra 12% damage to drones and skill proxies, which is good for the new countdown game mode, seeing as you're going against a lot of the Black Tusk. If you decide to use a shield, you can pair that with the Artificial Hive, which is not only going to buff your shield but also boost its health if it takes damage. That is pretty much it for the specializations guys. With that said, let's get into the build breakdown. Right guys, starting off with the primary weapon, I am using my FAMAS. Main reason is because I'm trying to level it up. As you can see, it's a rank 4 when it comes to proficiency. I'm still currently using the Instinct talent. Reason being is I'm using the Striker drone, one of the best skills in the game still to this very day. Great distraction when it comes to NPCs, which makes it a lot easier for you to run and gun, which is what you're going to do with this build. So looking at the attachments, we have 5% crit chance on the scope, we have 5% crit chance on the laser pointer, and 5% crit chance on the muzzle, and then the magazine gives us the extra 20 rounds. You could use a Kingbreaker if you got it, wink wink. As it's a pretty good weapon. I will be doing a video on this real soon. Moving on to our secondary, we have the ACS-12. This is what I recommend using guys. It's got fast fire rate and it's going to help you get those stacks for your Heartbreaker a lot faster, just like it does with the Striker gear set. When it comes to the attachments on here, 5% crit chance on the scope, and we have 5% crit chance on the laser pointer. And when it comes to the talent, we have Vindictive, which is going to give you 15% critical hit chance and 50% critical hit damage for 20 seconds, which applies to you and your allies. So the sidearm, and yes, the sidearm is still important guys. I recommend the Orbit or any other pistol of your choice with the Finisher talent. Swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. You can still stack Vindictive and Finisher together to boost up the crit chance and crit damage on this build. Moving on to the gear pieces, starting with our Heartbreaker mask. The 2-piece gives us 15% assault rifle damage, 15% LMG damage, 3 pieces gives us 15% weapon handling like the Striker gear set does, 4 pieces gives us the Heartstopper talent, headshots apply a pulse for 5 seconds, weapon hits on pulsed enemies adds a stack of plus 1% bonus armor and plus 1% damage to pulsed enemies up to a max of 50 stacks, and 2 stacks are lost each second. Looking at the attributes, we have armor at 154k, 12% critical hit damage, and then we have 6% crit chance via a mod. Moving on to the chest piece, we have armor again, 163k, slightly off max, we have 12% critical hit damage and 6% crit chance via a mod. And the chest piece gives us max BPM, increases max stacks from Heartstopper from 50 to 100. Moving on to the holster, again we have 170k armor, so that is max, and we have 10.6% critical hit damage. This is a pretty easy build to make, guys, seeing as the gear sets only have one minor attribute. So moving on to the gloves, we have 160k armor and 12% critical hit damage. Onto the knee pads, we have the Fox Prayer knee pads. We have 15% weapon damage, 8% damage targets out of cover, which is multiplicative damage, and 5.2% critical hit chance. And finally onto our backpack, which is the Memento, best exotic to use in the game if you're a solo player. We have 15% weapon damage, 170k armor, 1 skill tier, and we have 5.8% critical hit via a mod. And then we have the kill confirmed talent, that's going to give us the 50% bonus armor, 40% weapon damage, and 3% armor regen. Now we've gone over the build, let's get into the stat sheet. I'm not going to talk over it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about this update down in the comment section below, and more specifically the Heartbreaker gear set. I'm personally loving it. There's a lot more combinations of this build you can make, and when it comes to the PvP version of this build, I will be reaching out to other people for a collab, so keep your eyes out for that one. Don't forget, guys, we had that 500 like goal here on the channel that we always hit no matter what, so don't forget to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and I'll reply like I always do, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad. If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up, Mod Squad? Welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. Before we get into the video, if you're already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section, which in turn helps the channel grow. With the latest news of the Division 2 apparel event and year 3 content being delayed, your support is needed now more than ever. Interaction is a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. So help us reach that 500 like goal and drop a comment down below letting me know how you feel about the latest Division 2 content delays. In today's video, I'll showcase the newly buffed Striker gear set, which has made the Striker set way more viable. Previously, the 3-piece was the only reason to use Striker, but with the latest change, the 4-piece is now worth using, as you've seen from the intro clips. The Striker battle gear will no longer lose stacks from missed shots. Stack loss per second has been increased to 2. So this has made it a lot easier to keep stacks up, and you will no longer be punished for missing your shots. I personally believe on top of this they should have increased the damage from 0.5% to 1% per stack. That way Strikers would be on the same level as Hunter's Fury and Negotiator's Dilemma. In this video, I'll be combining one of the highest base damage and most underused assault rifles in the game with the newly buffed Striker gear set, as Strikers is a direct counter to all of this assault rifle's issues. That assault rifle being the black market AK-47. Combining Strikers with the gunner specialization takes that painfully slow RPM of 600 to around 800 RPM, and can give this build a total of 25% weapon handling, making the AK's recoil near non-existent. Now, although Striker stacks are easier to keep, it can take a while to build them up. So to gain them faster, we need to go back to a Division 1 style of play and bring back the good old showstopper. That's right, Striker stacks faster with shotguns, which means the good old days of building up stacks with your showstopper and switching to your primary is back. Today's build is packed full of weapon damage, crit damage and high survivability, allowing this to be both a run and gun and long distance combat build. In fact, this new buff makes Striker a very strong build for doing damage at long range. With a base armor of 1.5 million and being able to stack 40% bonus armor per trophy, this build can easily break 3 million armor, allowing you to tank NPC damage. This build's perfect for all heroic content, whether that's control points, bounties or the summit. If you have any questions, then leave them down in the comment section below. I will also be leaving the TU16 patch notes in the description for those of you who want to see them all. Now we spoke a little bit about the build and I'll showcase some of what it's capable of. Let's get into a quick build breakdown before ending this video with some more gameplay. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, and we are using the gunner. Reason being is it synergizes so well with the rest of our build. This specialization offers DPS, survivability and utility. As you can see, we get the right foam grenade, which is great for both PVE and PvP. If you can funnel enemies and then use this grenade, you will snare a bunch of them, which makes them easier to kill. Up next, killing enemies grants 10% armor. Next, every third reload is 50% faster. That's going to add to DPS. The armor kit on this build gives us 100% armor repair and then 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Every specialization has a skill with it that you can unlock, and as you can see is the Banshee Pulse. You can see in the gameplay that is very effective, stuns NPCs making them easier to kill. This specialization also generates 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Which is great if you're a solo player because you'll find you'll never run out of ammo. If you're not picking it up through NPCs, then this specialization will be replenishing it for you. Up next, rate of fire increased by 5% on kill. This is just going to add to our DPS, helping us kill faster. 50% pulse resistant, that's going to help when you're in a dark zone. And that is pretty much it for the specialization. So with that said, let's move on to the build breakdown. Right guys, getting into the build breakdown, starting off with the primary weapon, and as previously mentioned, we are using the Black Market AKM or AK-47. This assault rifle has one of the highest base damages in the game, and I'm using it a little bit different. As you can see, I'm using 5% fire rate rather than damage to targets out of cover or armor damage. Now this is preference guys, I just did this to speed up the RPM on this weapon because it is painfully slow. This combined with the 15% from strikers and then the 5% from the gunner specialization gives it around 800 RPM, which is pretty damn nice for a high base damage weapon. Now the AK is not the only weapon you can use with this build. You can use a FAMAS, you can use the Eagle Bearer, whatever AR is your preference. Looking at the talent on this AK, as you can see I'm using In Sync. This is just because we can get that extra 30% weapon damage. This build is all about weapon damage. The higher your weapon damage, the higher your crit numbers will be as well. Looking at the attachments, we have the C79 scope. This is going to allow you to zoom in so you can get those real long range kills. This gives us 5% critical hit chance. The magazine gives us the extra 20 rounds. We get negative 10% reload speed, but that's made up thanks to the weapon handling on this build. The grip with laser pointer gives us 5% critical hit chance. And finally, the muzzle gives us 5% crit chance as well. Moving on to the secondary, which is important to this build. You don't have to do this, but it's a quicker way to get your stacks. The ACS-12 or the Showstopper is going to give you your stacks a lot quicker. Looking at the attachments on this shotgun, we have 5% crit chance on the scope and we have 5% crit chance on the grip. Looking at the talent, we have Preservation. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshot kills improve the repair by an additional 10%. So you can get 20% armor back over a period of 5 seconds. Now, this won't work if you get the kill and instantly switch this weapon out. You have to keep this weapon out in order to get that armor back, otherwise it will just cut it straight off. Moving on to the sidearm, I'm using the TDI card, or you can use the Orbit pistol for the perfect finisher. Finisher talent is going to give us 30% critical hit chance and 30% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. The perfect version is going to give us 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. Moving on to the gear pieces, starting off with our Striker's Mask, we have 170k armor with 10.3% critical hit damage and 6% crit chance via a mod. Moving on to our Striker's chest piece, which has 15% weapon damage, 4% crit chance and 12% critical hit damage via a mod. And we used it in this chest piece because we get the press day advantage, increases max stacks from Striker's Gamble from 50 to 100. Moving on to our Striker's holster, we have 170k armor with 4% critical hit chance. Our Striker gloves have 15% weapon damage and 10.8% critical hit damage. Our knee pads are the named Foxplayer knee pads, giving us 170k armor, 8% damage to targets out of cover, so you have that multiplicative damage, and a 5.2% critical hit chance. And finally, the best piece of gear in the game for any solo build, that being the Memento backpack, 15% weapon damage, 170k armor, 1 skill tier, 6% crit chance via a mod, and of course the kill confirmed talent. We're stacking 40% bonus armor for every trophy we're picking up, and an extra 10% weapon damage. We'll gain the passive 30% weapon damage from the long term buff, and we'll also gain 3% armor regen for that passive healing over time. So while you're stacking up your bonus armor, your base armor will be replenished from the armor regen. When it comes to skills on this build, you do not have to use a shield as you will be stacking enough armor. I would go with, say, the Banshee Pulse and the Striker Drone, mainly using the Striker Drone just because it's going to help proc the Instinct talent a lot more often rather than having to constantly pull up the shield. But when it comes to skills, it's really just your preference. Moving on to the stat sheet, we have 50% crit chance and 78.1% critical hit damage. This isn't a maxed out build by any means, guys, and like I said, the crit damage is low, but bear in mind, if you want to go for the crit route, you can stack Vindictive with Finisher and gain an extra 60% critical hit damage. But like I said earlier on in the video, the weapon damage is so high on this build, it makes the crit damage numbers a lot higher. Anyway, I'm not going to talk through this whole stat sheet, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy using strikers. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out the patch notes. They'll be left in the description below. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mob Squad.